Good morning. Oh, I love my whisper voice. Sorry. Today is a new day. Wow. Okay. Well, it's in the early mornings, and it was extra early because insider information, we dropped off the van to the tire and alignment people this morning to make sure that's all straight, literally, before we head out on a 12 plus hour road trip into the mountains, into the bush. So that'll make a difference. Absolutely. When you know the things that you have are safe for you to use, because you've done due diligence. So that's the key. So what I wanted to share with you before my mind gets busy, I'm in the midst of catching up on a training. So I know that my next leg of whatever it is that I'm diving into will leave where I'm at behind. And part of the reason is because part of the, see, like even all the dimples are coming back in. Like there's stuff I'm working on. And if I could help other people to really embody what it is that I'm applying, and I'm sure there's ways to go about it. So, the wisdom that came to me is off the back of having died and come back. I've experienced near-death experiences more than once, but the one where I dipped into full unconsciousness, and some of you have heard this story. It's a part of Valley that I was sharing over the last year, off the back of Lisa Nichols' Ignite program. And by the way, the next session is coming up. So if you're interested in becoming a better speaker and sharing better your story and standing on your story instead of in your story, it's funny, it all does tie into exactly what I'm saying. Hit me up, let me know. I can connect you with the links to get registered for the discounted price before that goes up. Anyways, so with all that said, I realize, because a lot of people are like, how did you do it? How did you lose 100 pounds in under a year? Did I? I lost 50. No, I lost 10 there, and then, yeah, so 50, and then come up, and so in about the span of a year, yes, I lost 100 pounds. In total, so from 250 to 140 is 110 pounds. And that was over the span of 2 years. So to be accurate, that was the difference breaker. And on top of the fact, naturally, because I was being starved in the beginning, and then the baby weight and everything, so from 250 to about 187, and then up to 220, and then up again, and I don't know, because I stopped weighing myself because, ow. And so that's where I say that I picked up all that back, and then I had to lose it again. Key things to remember. And I don't know the ratio, but I believe it's for every 10 pounds that we're carrying, we're putting about 100 pounds of pressure on our bones and joints. I think that's the ratio. So getting those last 10 pounds are really essential. They make such a difference. They actually shift your center of gravity. If you have an already existing awareness of where your center of gravity is, you can still function in and around that frame, right? But for people that are former tumblers, gymnasts, high jumpers, those pole vaulters, those type of people have to have dancers, so like ballerinas, etc. They have to have an awareness of where their center of gravity is, because that's their pivot point. Figure skaters, for me it was figure skating. I had to grasp, and so when that kind of changed in my body, I noticed that it shifted my skating, but not significantly. Anyways, back to the point. Second chances. How did I lose all that weight in about a year? I was riding off of the momentum of having died and come back. I finally figured it out. And so this is why this video is so important, because I'm putting this here, I am landmarking it here. It had nothing to do with the do's. It really had nothing to do with the do's. Nope. Because I keep doing those do's. I do those do's. I don't get the same results. But I do the do's and then I undo the do's. What's the difference between the do's that I'm doing now, that I tend to find myself in the space of possibly undoing, and the do's from when I was riding on the momentum of my second chance of life after death? There was a huge window in my formula in which I couldn't refer to observing myself. Keynote. I couldn't refer to observing myself through my past lens. I would say from the point of reawakening, which would have been November 2005, to close to 2009. That's a long window. And I mean like November 2009, and I was in the heat and mess of all types of baby. And yet, it wasn't until probably going into the, no, right? I think it's good to ride it all the way until 2010. That's 5 years. Of not necessarily operating from the reference and resistances of my past self. 5 years. Now, with that said, there was a lot of obstacles from the references that people were using in regards to who they perceived me as and held relationship with. I use that languaging pretty specific because how people perceive us is theirs. That's their story, that's their avatar that they've created for for themselves to relate to us through. Okay? This goes again into letting it go, right? But there was this huge window. I'm like, okay, that's yours. I've made these new set of rules and I'm just going to follow them. My level of obedience was high. My level of to self, my level of integrity to self was high. High. It was, okay, well, let me get this done, and then I will address whatever challenge. My forward focus and vision was high. Why? Because it was my second chance at living. I had to create a vision because the old one had passed away, literally. I had to create new. I had to create new. Now, there was a lot of stuff in 2009 and 10 that created a whole shape load of crap on top of the fact. Then to add on to that, 2011, 2012, and then another deep dive that really shifted my identity, perception, just space. And I rode off of the momentum of that. How we identify, and I know that word is not serving into describing what it is that I'm trying to portray, because it's beyond identity. It is into embodiment. And embodiment really means that you are taking in for yourself the design and blueprint of your choice, deciding, cutting off all other options, and just, okay, step. One step, left foot. Next step, right foot. Next step, pull forward the left foot and continue to repeat that pattern going forward. And in order to do that without believing that you have a ball and shackle attached to your ankle, you have to choose to let the past be the past. There's a scripture, and it's so funny because every time I see something, anyways, as I was in this training, and it was talking about, I want you to imagine, just close your eyes, and imagine just letting go. So from this point that you're in now, just clear cut, and everything that's the past remains the past. Let go. You cannot refer to it. It's not yours to refer to. How would you look at your life going forward? You can't put a but in there. There's a chasm between your but. Your but is not a bridge enough. It's not long enough to build a bridge back to the past by which you're referring to hold yourself back to. It's huge. And so I did the process. And I realized immediately, okay, I'm going to recognize my own cues. I feel differently inside my own body. My awareness of being full is there. I've eaten half the amount that I ate yesterday morning. Not because I'm riding off the back of a heavy dinner from before. No. I'm allowing myself to be in the space of awareness. This ties into another lesson that I didn't do before. I tell you, all the tie-ins, all the puzzle pieces are falling in. But the key in letting go is, if you want to remember, you can remember. You don't have to be attached to it. And when you can identify yourself as having experienced said thing, it's like watching a movie. We don't attach ourselves to the movie and hold ourselves back because of the information that we picked up in the movie. Oh, I'm never going into a bathroom stall because there's a guy with a scary mask, a scream mask in there that's going to harm me. No, we go to the bathroom because we know there's a toilet in there and we gotta let something out. We gotta let something go. So, this is for you to ride along with me. The starting process is going forward is a clean slate. Every new day, we are actually mentally, psychologically designed as we wake up each day. We do not automatically kick into programming. We have to choose to pick that up and start chewing that cud of what we did yesterday. We literally wake up new every morning. Every morning. It is such a beautiful thing. Anyway, so something I want you to try. Consider. Put a goal in front of you that you feel that you're experiencing resistance with. And then bring yourself through the process. If. You can use if. I was to cut off and let go of my past. What would I do differently going forward? I already have a list. I gotta go get to work. So I will talk to you all later. Thank you for listening. And we'll talk to you soon.